Hello, pre-algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here, and we are going to continue our exploration into graphing. I have a new equation here. Y equals 4x minus 2. Okay, and again, I'm going to plug in 0 for x. Remember, I've got y equals 4x minus 2, and then I'm going to solve for y. So I'll plug 0 in for x, and I'll get the equation y equals 4 times 0 minus 2. And I know that's going to end up being y equals negative 2. How do I know that? 4 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 2 is negative 2. So the point 0, negative 2 is on the graph. All right, now I want you to start paying attention here to something. You notice this negative 2 here? And it matches this negative 2 here, right? Tomorrow night's video, I'm going to show you how to use that if you haven't figured it out already. All right, that's my first point. Now I like to plug 0 in for y, and so I'm going to get 0 equals 4x minus 2. I'm going to add 2 to each side to get me 2 equals 4x. Divide by 4 on both sides. Now I don't want the answer to 4, so I want to simplify it down to 1/2. Always want to simplify my fractions. So 1/2, 0 is on my graph, and that looks like it'll be right about there, halfway between 0 and 1. All right. Now, my next choice for x is really up to me. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and put 2 in. So I'm going to get y equals 4 times 2 minus 2. Well, I know that y is going to equal 8 minus 2, which is the same as 6. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is on the graph. I went 2 in the x direction and then 6 in the y direction. And then I'll go ahead and draw my line. And I just cheated there. I know something that you guys don't. But if you're pretty sharp, you might be able to pick up on what I did. It's going to happen tomorrow night's lesson. Anyway, let me make it arrowheads on both ends because lines go on forever. There you go. Looks like it's off just a smidgen. I can maybe do that. And there it goes. Looks even better. And notice my line takes up much of the graph. Okay, let's go through one more example. Actually, 2 more examples. Here's another one. Y equals 1/2 x plus 3. Now, I love to put x and then y equals 1/2 x plus 3 and then y. And again, I love to put 0 in for x. And when I do that, I get y equals 1/2 times 0 plus 3, which will simplify down to y equals 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3, right there. All right. Now I'm going to put 0 in for y, and I'm going to get 0 equals 1/2 x plus 3. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, and I'm going to get negative 3 equals 1/2 x. I'm going to divide by 1/2 on both sides, and you know, some of you might be thinking, oh, I'm going to take half of negative 3. Absolutely not. Negative 3 divided by 2 would be 1/2, or half of negative 3. Negative 3 divided by half is the same as negative 3 times 2 over 1, which is negative 6. So x is going to equal negative 6. So I'm going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 6, 0. Now for my other choice for x, I notice I have to take half of it. I'm going to pick an even number, like 2, something I can take a half of. So y is going to equal 1/2 of 2 plus 3. 1/2 of 2 is 1 plus 3 means that y is 4. So I'm going to go to 1, 2 in the x direction, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the y direction. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 1, 2, and draw my line from there. And look at that, it sure looks like it's hitting all 3 points just where we want it to. And I've got to put arrowheads on both ends. Alright, that looks pretty decent. Not perfect, but it's hard to do it perfect in a moving car. Anyway, okay, one more example for you. Here we have x, and 4x minus 3y equals 12. And then y, again, I like to plug 0 in for x. This term is going to turn to 0, so I'll get negative 3y equals 12. Dividing by negative 3 on both sides, y is going to equal negative 4. So 0 in the x direction, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 4 in the y direction. There's my first point. 0 in for y. And that means this term is going to turn to 0. So my equation is going to end up being 4x equals 12. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. X is going to equal 3. So I'm going to go 3 in the x direction. So 1, 2, 3. And 0 in the y direction. All right, now remember I suggested the other day to choose the negative of this number here. So I'm going to put a negative 3 in, so I'm going to get 4 times negative 3 minus 3y equals 12. All right, so now we're going to do negative 12 minus 3y equals 12. I'll add 12 to both sides. And I'm going to cancel those out and get negative 3y equals 24. I'll divide both sides by negative 3. Oops, danger, Will Robinson. I just divided by y. I never want to divide by the variable, not in a linear situation. And I'm going to get y equals negative 8. So negative 3, negative 8 is going to be on my graph. And so that'll be 1, 2, 3, and then down 8, which I think will be here. All right. So here I go. I'm going to draw my line. And look at that. It's hitting all of them. And here we go. Let me change the line style. You guys probably know how to run the Smartboard better than I do after watching these videos, watching all these menus. I'll make it this color here. Oh, it's kind of light. There we go. That one shows up pretty good. And there it is. Okay, you should be getting pretty good at this. Remember, I wanted you to notice that on this one, there was a negative 2 there, and we went down 2. And look at that, on the second one, there's a plus 3 there. You see that plus 3? And look at this, 1, 2, 3. All right, but it doesn't happen on this one. Like, we're down here at 1, 2, 3, 4. That's negative 4. 0, negative 4 is that point, right? 0, negative 4. And there's no negative 4 in the equation. It's just a coincidence that that is a 4 there. All right, think about that. In the next video, we'll show you how to use that and maybe make this stuff a little bit simpler. All right, Mr. Lawrence signing off. Good night, everybody.